Artificial intelligence has spent the last few years living in the clouds. Private labs, private money, private valuations, private promises. But now AI wants to walk through the front door of Wall Street. OpenAI has confidentially filed for a U.S. IPO. Anthropic has done the same. CoreWeave already tested the waters, raising $1.5 billion and jumping above its IPO price within days. And overseas, China's ZAI is chasing public market money to fund its race toward artificial general intelligence. So the question is no longer, is AI coming? It's already here. And also, who gets to own it? Because once these companies go public, artificial intelligence stops being just a technology story. It becomes a retirement account story, a pension fund story, a national security story, a job market story, and maybe, if we're honest, a bubble story. The public is not exactly throwing a parade. Pew found only 17% of Americans believe AI will have a positive impact on the country over the next 20 years, compared with 56% of AI experts. Gallup found only 31% of Americans trust businesses to use AI responsibly, while 73% believe AI will reduce the total number of U.S. jobs over the next decade. That is the tension. Investors see gold. Workers see disruption. Executives see scale. Regulators see smoke coming from the engine room. And Wall Street sees the oldest trick in the book. Turn the future into a ticker symbol and let everybody buy a piece before anybody fully understands the risk. So today, we ask, are these AI IPOs the birth of the next great American industry? Or are we watching Silicon Valley package uncertainty, slap a $1 trillion valuation on it, and sell it back to the public? Because when the future becomes a publicly traded asset, we're all investors, whether we bought the stock or not.
Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Stoney.
Hello.
And Jason.
Hello, everyone.
One more pre-show for the books that we didn't record.
That's okay. That's okay. We got some good. It's been a minute. A minute. We've had some scheduling conflicts and weather and all kinds of stuff that has made it a little bit difficult for us to do our regular routine. And so it's nice to get back. And of course, as per usual, we sit around this table and we start talking, and that's just how it ends up happening.
Yeah.
It just takes off.
Yeah. But speaking of, before we get into this topic, though, I want to share with you one thing that happened over the course of the past week that was very crazy that I think you would be interested to hear about. We had, during that crazy rainstorm that we were talking about, that we had postponed one of the shows for, I have a pretty big tree out in my backyard, and during the rainstorm, my roommate and I were hanging around the house, and he was in the kitchen making some food. I was in the back of the house or whatever. And I mean, it was like thundering and lightning. It was a crazy rainstorm pouring down. And out of nowhere, I mean, the brightest flash of light lights up the whole house. Wham!
Somebody got struck by lightning.
And so something got struck by lightning, and it's that.
The tree?
It was that big tree.
Tree's dead now.
I was going to say, I think it was already kind of dying.
It's not dead. It's dead now. Yeah, it's 50,000 volts or 100,000, whatever a lightning bolt is.
Yeah.
Fried the inside of it.
So when it did that, it was certain lights flickered in the house a little bit, and our my computer screen had shut off for a second, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I was like, at first, I thought it also struck the house. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh man, please don't tell me the house just got struck by lightning. So obviously, my roommate and I walk into the kitchen. He's like, bruh, you're not going to believe this.
Tree's on fire.
Well, again, it wasn't on fire, but there was he's like, I saw embers falling down from the tree outside, which is like bark, like burnt bark and stuff.
Yep.
Which means it was on fire.
Oh yeah. So again,
And it may still actually be on fire on the inside of
Right.
the tree.
okay. Well, I mean, if it has been, it's been over a week now, and I haven't.
You'd be surprised how much that stuff can just kind of fester in there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it could.
Well, and it continued to rain for the rest of that night, and then come that next morning, it was sunshine, and we're looking at, this is where it's going to get a little graphic, but we're looking at all this bark that was kind of like strewn about the tree. We're seeing these like burn marks and scorches around the tree and all that stuff. And I look down at what I think to be, bark, and I see two little bird legs sticking up, and there's a whole bird. I mean, upside down.
Yeah.
Like absolutely cooked. And I was like,
Well, barbecue sauce would have been fine.
no, at that point I think the bugs had got to it. So, but I was like, I looked at it and I was like, poor guy.
Extra
I
protein.
was like, rest in peace.
I
you know,
don't
I was
even
like,
know what hit it.
exactly. It happened so fast, and I was
Well, if you're
like,
going to go, that's the best way to go. Don't know what took you out.
I'm gonna tell you what I've known. I think I knew a guy that got struck by lightning
Really?
one time, and that's not
no.
it's not what you want to have happen to you, because sometimes it doesn't result in death. I mean,
Right.
Sometimes it just impairs you. You know?
Yes.
Sometimes it just
Straight kills you.
Sometimes it
cooks you.
just goes through you, and
Right.
you never know it.
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
somebody who playing golf.
That's scary.
It knocked him out.
Yeah. Had no,
No
idea.
problem.
It'll jack
Yeah,
your
he
jack
got-
your
Oh,
jack
he
the
got
rhythm
a-
of your heart
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Big white streak in his hair after that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and then of course, funny enough, what happened immediately afterwards is the internet in the house went down, and the house is a little bit old, so there's like coax cables that are going, kind of out on the outside, and like lead from the road into the house. And I wouldn't be surprised if voltage went into the modem and overloaded it, because like the router was fine, everything on the modem was fine, but I think some of the jacks were messed up. So after doing some testing that night, my roommate and I, we ended up going to buy a new modem. But
I got a system with my utility company put on my meter to protect me from
nice.
from electrical strikes like that.
Everything else has been fine so far. It was a crazy circumstance, and I was like, man, again, the rain was, it was nothing we haven't been able to handle around here before, but it scared the piss out of me. That whenever
There's
that
one place in Louisiana that got 31 inches of rain.
That's crazy.
That was a record
yeah.
for one 12-hour period.
Interesting.
Yeah, I believe that was in the Marksville, Cottonport, Mansoura, that area of Louisiana, somewhat kind of in the central part of the state, maybe a little closer to the Louisiana-Mississippi line.
Yeah.
That it just the way those bands set up with Arthur.
Yeah.
Just dumped all that rain on them, and it's like
Crazy.
it could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that can happen into any time. You just get a stubborn system that just keeps training.
Yeah. Well, I think that the funny thing too is around the local area I'm in, they recently have been like putting in culverts and like clearing up some of the drainage, and I think some of it didn't do such a good job during this recent rainstorm. So I think they dug it back up and they're doing more.
And they can only do what you can.
Exactly. So, but anyways, I just thought it was an interesting story because that was something that happened that I was not prepared for, and also obviously I was not financially prepared for either, because I was like, man, I don't want to have to spend a couple $100 on a new modem, but I was like, it's gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. So, but anyways, so I thought it was fun. But
all right,
today,
guys, what we got here tonight?
I've stumbled across this like a video talking about the kind of topic we're talking about today, about how there's like these major AI companies that are going public, and how let me see what I have right here. It said the companies are planning to raise more capital than the entire U.S. IPO market did in over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Which is like the amount of money that takes, and again, the fact that it's all potentially happening at once, like the risk that comes into play is like, if investors see the value in it and try and put the money towards that, like, are they going to take the money out of somewhere else to like put that money into AI? Or the worst part is like if the asking price for it if they don't see the value in it and they don't invest in it, then like what does that mean for the AI bubble to not be able to? It's like, anyway, it's just an interesting story that like.
Well, it also came about because of Bernie Sanders trying to pass a law saying that America needs to own 50% of this.
Right.
Think about this, though. Here's my thought process on this. Can the U.S. government own something? Yes, it can. Constitutionally, it can. Harry S. Truman had some problems in World War II when he tried to gain control of the steel factories in America, and the Supreme Court said no.
Yeah.
National security is not a reason for you to be able to take something over. When has it happened and it worked? The auto industry.
Okay.
The banking industry. The housing industry. The government now owns part of this because they bailed them out.
Correct.
And in bailing them out, we get part ownership.
Yeah.
So to me, this is what's happening. This is a pre-bailout situation.
Okay.
How about we go ahead and just bail you out now, and we get at least an equal voting share? Or is it a non-voting share that America will be buying? And we need to find that out, because that's very important, because who controls what?
Well, I think kind of the way I look at it, just kind of following some of these stories, and I might also listen to some podcasts on this topic, and it appears the thinking by these AI companies is they want to, for lack of a better term, offshore the risk onto the public. So in essence, the public would always have a stake in the game, so to speak.
Hence my buyout now. Let's just go ahead and buy you out now for when it happens.
So the natural process of development of this technology is going to would carry any sort of risk with investors, because the technology either will not work, it will pan out, there's already people that are that AI is, I don't think is promising what it was billed to be, and at least not yet. I think basically you've got things that can maybe run some simple machines like drive-through type technology.
Yes.
I think it can definitely do that, but I think the promise is that it can basically take over a lot of what white collar jobs do, accounting, financial investing, those kind of things.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy. But I wonder what is this? I don't know. I wonder what this is going to mean for like the future, not only of like all the different companies and AI in general, but like what does it mean in the big picture of, I don't know, like the financial world altogether? Because again, it reminds me, I think we kind of mentioned briefly like about the stuff with the .com boom or the housing crisis. How like there's like these big moments where like the stock market doesn't really crash, but like it has these major dips in it. And I wonder if that could potentially be.
Well, I mean, I saw an article here. They said OpenAI was valued at roughly $300 billion in 2025.
Right.
Anthropic's valuation went up nearly $965 billion after its latest first round of funding, placing it among those valuable private companies in history. Also,
now Anthropic is the company who in a matter of hours defeated the NSA's.
Correct. That was Mythos.
Yeah. But that's part of the same.
Yeah, matter of fact, Trump, I believe, President Trump told them that you need to pull that thing down because it breached them in a couple hours.
Get out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's their latest. Their latest platform
model or version. Yeah.
Which I think everybody knew that if you turn these AI systems, and as they get more sophisticated, more polished, that you're going to have to now on the back end beef up the security of what, and it's going to be this constant thing.
So back and forth.
It kind of reminds me of the radar versus the radar detector. Yeah, you know, and so it's this constant fight back and forth with this stuff. And
Right.
I mean, to me, I think that shows you where this stuff is at right now. If it's breaching, suppose the NSA, which would probably have the strongest security
Hopefully.
apparatus behind it, protecting it. If it's breaching that in a couple hours, well, then, okay, where we're at here.
And what was funny was this was a test.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, this was a test.
Right.
And so what did we do? We just let China and Russia know that there's a vulnerability.
Right.
Well, I think they probably already know it.
I'm sure they already do, but they're thinking a week's or a month vulnerability. This was like a couple of hours vulnerability. And when I keep saying that China and Russia want to take out our infrastructure and our energy grids and things like that, how quickly can they do it now?
Yeah, I mean, this is a. I mean, there's just a lot here. I think, and I knew this was going to kind of happen.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of brought this topic up, not specifically this, but the idea of these, you know, the AI companies now are what oil was back at the turn of the century with the beginning of the Industrial Revolution and the discovery of oil and how that drove U.S. industry.
Yeah.
And I do believe, and I've talked about the threat of the U.S. dollar being tied to the petrodollar, and countries are trying to get around that. If that happens and other countries start trading commodities outside of the dollar, I mean, that's going to seriously impact our ability to basically print money.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to think about what's going to happen to people's investments, pension systems, retirements, and stuff like that. They're all tied to this. Who are the companies that can, in essence, hold U.S. debt?
Yeah.
Would be these companies now.
Yeah.
I mean, it just that's the reality because it's global.
Right.
It in essence, information now has become
Right.
has become the
currency.
The currency now, and I don't know what the fix is on this. I really don't. I think this is, you know, I hate to say it, but I mean, I think we're on a fast train that we can't get off of right now. There's no pulling back. There's a ton of money being dumped into this stuff right now because everybody knows it's probably going to be bad, but no one wants to be caught flat-foot and wants to be. China's running to this. Russia's running at this. We're running. It's whoever can win this race is, in essence, going to be able to control the globe.
Yeah.
Because the minute you lose that, I mean, if the United States loses that to China, then China is now in charge.
Yeah.
Just they will be. And I don't think anybody really wants that. But I mean, as I'm saying, it's once you uncork, you know, the bottle and the genie's out now, I don't, there's no putting the genie back in.
Well, but there's a couple of issues that may seem smaller that aren't. If the government now owns this, we remember what happened back in COVID.
Yeah.
The government called the CIA front, Facebook, and said, you need to control this speech. They what was it, Twitter? You need to stop these people from speaking. They actually had to make phone calls and have meetings and bribe people to actually control speech. Well, now if they own 50 or 51% of the companies that are doing this, all they got to do is type it in. So they'll now control speech, and they will control reality because they will now control what you hear and what you see on the internet, in life, on the news, everything.
Right.
And they're wrapping it up. Sanders is wrapping it up in this little bowl that, well, we'll all win because you'll get a stipend. I'll get a stipend. Everybody will get a stipend because we'll all own it.
Yeah, that's because they're looking for some sort of cash fund to fund more government services.
It's also that, but think what it does for the surveillance expansion.
Right.
Because AI now operates the Taco Bell drive-thru.
Right.
Well, now that AI has to be connected to the data center. Now you're going to connect all the traffic because now traffic is going to be controlled by AI.
Correct.
Instead of just having a computer program with sensors going, ooh, there's a car here, there's not a car here, let's turn it, will be controlled by AI now. So now AI will control everything.
Yeah. Well, I think it's pretty much already is right now. I mean, I don't see much pulling back. I think it's not where I think people speculated it would be, but I think that it still helps. Yeah, you don't see companies just pulling out their AI. I mean, they're not doing that.
Well,
I mean,
but I mean, think about where you talked about the money earlier. I'm looking at this in kind of a broad picture. How much money is being spent by the lobbyists right now think about this, for the U.S. government, a senator to consider spending trillions of dollars, because that's ultimately what it's going to be, to actually buy into this.
Yeah.
How much money you think Bernie Sanders is getting through the lobbyists to even consider this?
I don't trust any of them. They're all making money.
I think the thing that is the thing that's interesting about this is that I'm reading here and it says SpaceX will kick off its IPO shortly. Alphabet, which is Google, will file paperwork for a secondary stock sale that will raise tens of billions of dollars, and Anthropic and OpenAI have also filed for IPOs. If all are successful, they could raise more money. This is the thing I brought about at the beginning of the show, was more money than U.S. IPOs, like collectively, raised over the past 5 years. So it's like in a very short order, we could have these like all the big AI companies are going to put their initial investment stock out there. And the fact that it's all of them at once is like the thing that kind of is concerning for me, at least, where it's like you're saying before, with like, I don't know how, there's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of money out there to be spent on stuff. I know that. But my thing is like, if the people aren't there with the money and they don't want to spend it on open or on AI companies, especially not this much of it because there's so much of it, like what does that mean if like their initial public offering, which is IPO, doesn't actually go through? Like, does that mean that, like, for me, it would, and now I could be wrong. If all of a sudden all of the stocks are bought up and like people are investing in it like crazy, then AI is still going. But the thing that worries me now is like, these are some really big numbers that are being thrown out there from all the big AI companies. And if those aren't met, then like, what does that mean for AI? Like, does that mean it's going to start to, does that signal the downturn of like, AI maybe at its peak
right now,
maybe curving down. I just don't know what it all means. I'm not a investment guy or whatever. I don't know all the ins and outs of how that works, but it's interesting and it's scary because also too, if people do see the value in it and they want to purchase it, where, like, if I have so much money invested in all these things, but I want to put all my money here, what's that money going to get taken out of? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's how that works either, but anyways, so.
Well, one of the things that concerned me was if you look in social media and social media news, et cetera, that supposedly Donald Trump declared data centers military installations.
Really?
Okay. So that is not verified and it's very misleading.
Okay.
There are some things that did happen.
Okay.
Okay. This administration has treated AI data centers as national security infrastructure.
I see.
Okay, because a lot of the military stuff and a lot of government stuff's going to go through that.
Right.
The government accelerated federal permitting for AI data centers.
Yeah.
That's been verified. Federal land may be used for data centers. Key point, federal land. That's been verified. Military bases may now host private and commercial AI data centers. That's been verified.
Okay.
All private data centers are now military installations. That's false based on the evidence that we have today. And data centers are military adjacent assets.
Okay.
Strongly supported and verified.
Okay.
So what is this telling anybody? I call it Skynet. I will never use the word AI again. From now on, I'm just going to say Skynet, and I want everybody to understand when Stoney says Skynet, I mean AI, because it's coming, and it ain't that far away.
No, but it's as the models get more and more sophisticated. I mean, as they become more and more integrated into the, it kind of reminds me of the movie I, Robot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember at the time when the big computer, whatever it was, I don't remember. It basically, I mean,
it was AI.
The whole country had given over its defense, everything to this computer, and it was able to basically just take over. And it's just a mistake in doing that. But as
the
I
Matrix, Terminator, War Games, one of the greatest movies ever. But then I still say to this day, Demolition Man was one of the best predictors of the future of this world of 15-minute cities, AI. As you're walking down the street and say, damn it, one credit is removed from your blah, blah, blah for using offensive language. That's where we're going.
Right.
If you look at the China social score system, if you jaywalk, they automatically take it out of your account, and then they post your picture across town saying, look at this bad person. They're jaywalking. They aren't trying to be a good member of society because they're jaywalking. What do you think all these data centers, the information they're going to collect is for?
Oh, yeah.
That's what this is for.
I found some of the numbers that I was talking about. It says over the past 5 years, United States initial, the IPO, have raised a total of $267 billion. So in 2021, it was 155. 22 was 8. 23 was 22. 24 was 33 billion. And then, of course, 25 was 47 billion. And then this year, with all these AI companies going all at once with the amount that they're asking for, is 370 billion. So it's like, so in 1 year, it's like, it's just going to flood the market with potential AI shares to be purchased up. And that's what I'm saying. That's the point that I think I was trying to get to, not articulate myself very well. Is like, if the value is there and investors see the value, where maybe they have extra money to throw around, but if not, where are they going to take that money from to put it into what they think is valuable? So like, where are we going to start seeing the decline of other things, or whatever, investments being taken out of other stuff?
That's what happens with everything.
You're right. But I'm just saying even more so now than ever before, where it's like, if people are just going to start scraping money out of all their pennies out of everything to put it all into AI, if they see the value in it, like, what does that mean for not only for what you're talking about with data centers? Obviously, it's going to get an influx of money their way, which I guess is what they want. But where are we going to potentially suffer? Because there's not going to be any funding.
Well, we got to suffer twice because we have to pay for it, and then we have to pay the utility bill for it.
Exactly. So,
but all data centers can realistically be, strategic assets if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen with that? That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just, that's national security.
Yeah.
Military logistics.
Yeah.
How do you think things are going to get moved? AI. Cyber defense. We already talked about that one with the NSA getting breached.
Yep.
intelligence analysis, all satellite imagery, drone coordination. Because think about this. Now that we have all of this AI, why do we need pilots? Now, what's been the restrictive use of all vehicles?
Right.
The human body.
Yep.
Okay, you can't go more than how many G's with a human body, but how many more G's can you go? How faster can you go when you don't have to do that for the human body? Battlefield decisions, autonomous systems, classified cloud workloads, defense contractor AI, code analysis, biosecurity monitoring. Think about that. If you put your thumb on something or you use a retina for your, that's all going to be in the data centers. That's how they're going to control it. Weapon simulation. And then think about, this is the big one for me. Mm-hmm. What are we gearing toward? In January, Tesla is going to be 100% autonomous, right, for the driving.
Yeah.
What about your supply chain monitoring? All of our trucks. We're getting away from using illegal aliens to drive our supply chain around now. Mm-hmm. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to let AI do it.
Right.
Somebody hacks into that. Now what do you do?
Oh, well, there's a big company called Waymo that's like a big taxi service.
Mm-hmm.
It's an all AI,
Mm-hmm.
or it's all.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah. Well, it's in major cities right now. Like it's in big areas. I think
Mm-hmm.
I went to. I think it was Houston about sometime last year, and I saw them around. They were all over the place. No driver at all. Just
Mm-hmm.
you just ring
And
it
I
up
can see that.
Yeah. So it's
I can see it happening.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, there's still, as much as, this is kind of moving forward, there are a lot of people that are kind of sounding the alarm on, these, maybe they're overvaluing this stuff. I mean, it's, I see here, I'm reading an article off of Business Insider. They said researcher and independent journalist Ed Zitron went viral this month for a post on OpenAI's finances, showing massive spending and steep losses at the AI giant. The ChatGPT maker is preparing for an IPO, and investors are eager for a peek at the financials ahead of what's expected to be a historic offering. A report based on audited financial information viewed by Zitron published on June 15th showed that losses surged from $5 billion in 2024 to almost $39 billion in 2025 as the company went on a spending spree to pull ahead in the AI race. The financial condition of OpenAI is deeply concerning, Zitron wrote. $38.53 billion in losses are astronomical and far higher than most believe it would be. Losses also appear to be mounting year over year and doesn't see an end in sight right now. So this is what I'm talking about. When I talk about these companies, you really don't know how this tech is really going to play out in the future, because I think I think in essence you hit a wall with this stuff. I think our material scientists, because the idea would be able to transition this kind of thinking into robots that can actually perform tasks and stuff like that, similar to what human beings can do.
Well, that's the next step. We've had the show on quantum
computing.
Quantum computing. What happens when you get there?
Well, I've always said,
holy crap!
As soon as I think even President Trump mentioned about the ability of owning a quantum computer. I've always said that if as soon as they perfect quantum computing and you pair that with, that's what's going to take AI to the next level.
Well, think about this.
That's
took
when
hours
it's going to be able to
for the
think.
computing that we have today. It took a matter of hours for the computing systems that we have today with AI to defeat the NSA's security systems. When you go to quantum computing, that's going to be a matter of seconds.
Right.
You won't be able to be fast enough
Oh no!
To protect yourself from that. I remember back in the early days of hacking when you could actually sit at your computer and do battle with another hacker. Now it's not like that anymore.
Right.
But now when you get to quantum computing, you're talking milliseconds of these things happening, and that comes back up to all of what we've been talking about.
Right.
Skynet.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I think it's as the technology moves forward, I think it's only inevitable that if I can, export this stuff into defense systems, I can make missiles, target faster, better. If I can do things better, more efficiently, of course, you're going to take advantage of those things, and every country is going to do the same thing. So,
well, think about this: if we have a jet that can do Mach 12 with a G-force of whatever, because we don't have a pilot in it, and there's no reaction time to it, versus somebody who's still limited by G, force whatever. I mean, wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
They say analysts estimate that hyperscalers, including Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta, are expected to spend more than $725 billion annually on AI infrastructure and data centers, underscoring the capital intensity drive in AI valuation. So there's no slowing down.
And that's what I'm saying is, like, right now there still seems to be value in it, and I think that's the thing that I don't know. I just hope that this doesn't like cause some sort of crazy economical collapse because of like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people. I mean, is this what WorldCom was and Enron and remember when all that was came out and it was the .com bust and all that. But even with that, what had happened? It moved the technology forward.
Oh yeah.
That's how this stuff works. It would not surprise me if there's a correction.
Oh yeah. I don't think that it's gonna that at any point it's not gonna push us forward. Still, but I'm just saying, like, how are we gonna suffer in the process of that? Like, where is it gonna affect us? Or whatever.
Yeah,
just for the record, I looked it up. The G-force a jet can pull is capped around 9 Gs with a human pilot.
Okay,
and that's probably somebody really well trained. 20 plus Gs. From a non-manned aircraft.
Of course. Do all kinds of whips and tricks.
all kind of whips and tricks.
Yeah.
And that's just with the mechanical engineering that we have today.
Right.
The plane could sustain that, or jet could sustain that. What happens, in the future when AI starts developing new things?
Yeah. Well, I know Sam Altman right now. He is wanting a $1 trillion valuation on OpenAI. And so, as a matter of fact, he's talking about postponing his IPO until 2027 rather than accept a lower valuation.
Really?
Yeah, executives reportedly remain focused on achieving a $1 trillion valuation despite market uncertainty. That's a Reuters article. So, yeah.
So, okay. So, I guess there is value there that obviously, me.
I'm sure there were like Elon Musk made news with the first trillionaire.
Oh, of course.
But then I saw that it automatically dropped back down to, what is it, $700-800 billion dollars? Well, whatever.
Yeah.
He talking about that kind of money, but for a brief time he was the first trillionaire.
He was not the first trillionaire.
Okay.
If you look back in the monies of earlier days, there's been a couple others that have reached that. He's just a modern day trillionaire.
Well, whatever that dollar is, but I mean, as far as
it's still a feat.
I can't even imagine $1 trillion.
Yeah,
I mean, I really
but it's not
don't.
Cash that they have.
No.
It's all the companies.
It's all options and stocks and stuff, and what you think a stock is worth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the question is, I mean, I would ask if it does, when it does go public, would you buy stock?
I don't know.
In it? Would you invest?
The big thing is that I feel like if something like Alphabet, like Google and all that stuff, I could potentially see myself trying to put some money into that or something along those lines, because yes, there's all these other big AI companies that I do think are going to stick around for a long time, but I feel like a safer option would be something like Alphabet because of like the long-standing history they already have, and it's also diversified and does so many different things. This is obviously not financial advice by anybody. We're
not financial advisors.
Please don't take this as advice at all. But I feel like if for instance, if you were to invest like $1,000 in Alphabet, Google, back 20 years ago, you'd be sitting on a very healthy sum of money.
yeah.
But they do the same thing. They've been doing AI work for many, many years.
Well, I mean,
And so,
think of those early investors when Exxon was Esso.
oh yeah,
Yep. You would have. I mean, what that would be worth.
I looked at this a little bit further, and it said certain unmanned missiles and drones can even pull over 30 Gs.
Crazy.
During interception maneuvers, because of some of the things are more fly-by-wire and not hydraulics and things like that. Things are changing already in the direction to go past 30 Gs.
Right.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean,
and I don't know if the G is, we are under 1 G right now.
Yeah.
It's the force of the Earth's gravity on you, the multiplication of that 30 times the Earth's gravity.
Right.
I mean, think about that. Yeah. You're squashing meat at that point, And I'm
going to tell you, this is also driving the chip market.
Of course.
I mean, we've all talked about it with NVIDIA. So anybody that's into gaming knows right now what all this is driving right now, the GPU market,
of course,
and everything else that's tied to all that. They said right now, industry analysts say now the biggest bottleneck isn't software; it's obtaining enough advanced AI chips.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
because now they can be putting chips in everything. Think about that. Everything you touch.
Oh yeah,
it's probably going to have a chip in it.
It already does.
And you might end up. We might all end up in chips in our
your electric razor has a chip in it.
Yeah,
everything has some form of a chip in it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
If you would have, speaking of NVIDIA, I just was looking up this because I was trying to find out information about Google and how much you would have invested at a certain point, but I couldn't quite find it. But it did say for NVIDIA, if you would have invested $1,000 in April 15 of 2005, by today, that would be $1,230,000. $1,230,000.
That's right.
Yeah, today's like right now.
I've always likened NVIDIA.
It's like
NVIDIA to like Intel.
Yeah.
Intel was like hot, man. They were.
Yeah, but Intel's going up and down a couple of times. NVIDIA is just on this huge.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that bubble to burst because.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you
now with AI stuff. Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe it will. But I don't. Because I think it's higher now than it ever has before for that very reason.
That's what I'm saying. They're on a huge.
Oh yeah, you're right.
A side story to this whole deal is now, of course, we've talked about the data centers is what powers these data centers. That's another thing that's affecting communities right now.
And cools them.
Right, but they're saying
all the fresh water that they're going to be using. We did an episode on that.
Right, that's it. Will it revive the nuclear industry and start? I know I read an article here in Louisiana. I think they were going to fast track a nuclear plant.
Really? Just for the data center,
the northern part of the state.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, I've always said that nuclear was the way to go.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate that it's taken AI to get us there.
Yeah, I mean, people go back and forth with nuclear.
I know,
good, bad. I mean, what do you do with these spent rods and all these things?
Yeah, but we've gone through that.
Yeah.
With the amount of spent rods that they've had is nothing.
Yeah, but even still, we have good ways to effectively dispose of them.
I'm a firm believer. To me, nuclear should be that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because unfortunately, if you don't build the power infrastructure, these data centers are already going to stress a lot of these aging plants that, the United States hasn't been really on the ball with really kind of building its national infrastructure because it keeps giving its money away to all these foreign countries. But, they're going to have to start doing that because other than that, you're going to see your utility bills go up.
Oh, yeah.
That's happening.
Yep.
And a lot of people are pretty upset.
It's also interesting too. Like I wonder what, it's so unfortunate that I wonder like if we would get any benefits from the nuclear power, or is it all just going to go straight to the data center? Like I hope that's not what would be the case. Like I hope there would be some sort of net benefit for all of us collectively, but somehow I doubt it, which is unfortunate. But because I would like to, I don't know. It's interesting.
I think, but I mean, look at all the jobs, look at all the industries that could benefit from this sort of thing. I mean, you're looking at, power infrastructure, you're looking at cooling systems. People sell these parts, fiber networks, semiconductor manufacturing equipment. So all this, I mean, it may be a downside on one thing, but it could be a benefit somewhere else. So,
right.
I mean, I don't know.
But it also just kind of makes me nervous because I do feel like we are creating our downfall. You know what I mean?
We are.
So I know, and I'm not talking. I'm not talking about like the Skynet. That too potentially. But I'm just talking about the fact of like we're flushing out all these systems. We got these data centers. We got all this power infrastructure, and like it's all gonna potentially make some of that obsolete. I feel like
what bothers me probably more than anything with this, and this scares me because as somebody that has a pension,
yes,
has money in retirement accounts,
yeah.
The minute something goes public, that really kind of forces that industry to expand and grow because the expectation is for it to grow.
Yeah.
Whereas where it sits right now, it's kind of still in I'm going to take a chance and put some money up and see what happens.
Right.
If it fails, then the only people that are affected are the people who put the money up.
Yes.
The minute you get all these other people
once you get shareholders
tied into this, now it's going to be you're in essence you're putting even a bigger ball behind it, rolling downhill because now the expectation is it can't fail.
Yeah. You have investors, you have shareholders, you have to make sure they're.
Well, you got everybody.
Think about it. Well, do you have everybody? You got the government going to buy 50%. Then you're going to have BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard buying another 20 to 30% just for them. Now what do you do? Now who's in control of who's in control?
That's what I'm saying. It's like at that point they circle back around, they still want it to succeed though. So like at that point, once it goes public and all those people have hands in it, they're not going to ever want it to lose money. Right. They're going to only want it. They want that they want that number to keep going up.
Well, of course.
And at that point, it's like but it's already the high. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's already the highest it's ever been. Like between cumulative between all of them. I know it's not individually like that, but it's still crazy to think.
But it's the highest that it is today that it's ever been.
Right.
And the government always waits until it crashes before it gets involved. I know. And now our socialist representatives want us to go ahead and buy into it at the highest it's ever been.
Right.
And not wait until we can get a bargain basement deal on it.
And especially because like you have people like who's the owner of OpenAI? He's waiting until 2027 to make it go public. So apparently he thinks that the value is going to hold. Which if that's what
he thinks the value is going to hold and increase. If he's waiting,
that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. It's like
he's betting. That's called hedging.
Just think of this, guys. When a single engineer can move $1 trillion valuation, we are definitely witnessing the birth of something new.
Ooh, yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Exactly. One person.
Yep.
$1 trillion.
Or a handful of people being able to make big decisions like that.
I just
right.
Well, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard have $72 trillion worth of investments.
Well, it's like
so that's three people and all their cronies.
And then how this affects kind of geopolitics, because some researchers have been discussing sovereign compute.
What is that?
Where nations seek domestic control over critical AI infrastructure rather than relying on foreign operators. I can see that happening.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying.
I mean, I don't want to be dependent on some other country in essence, for my security.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen. If I was in another country, I wouldn't want another country.
Well, think about it like this. Okay, we're going to invest billions and trillions of dollars into this AI system. And China has not attacked Taiwan yet. Taiwan is building 95% of all the conductors, processors, and everything else that we need. Okay? So now if you spent all of this money, then they go in and they take Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Now, what do? We are not going to give you any more of the parts you need for your systems.
Oh, of course not. Or if they do,
And
it's
you want to
gonna be-
see something tank fast?
or it's going to be at an extra, an exorbitantly high amount of money.
Well, the
if
best
it
thing to
ever
do
is.
would just not give you any of the parts
Right.
for anything
Right.
and just let your whole system crash.
I'm reading an
Right.
article here, Coalition for a Prosperous America. It says America's AI boom has a trade policy blind spot. Say U.S. imports of data center equipment reached $653 billion in 2025.
That's what I just said.
Yep, more than double the 2020 level.
That's all the parts they're
crazy.
bringing in here.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, somebody else is going to be in control of it after
Yeah.
we done spent all the money.
Yeah, that total breaks into two distinct supply chains, nearly $580 billion in computing hardware. That's server, chips, network cooling, more than $70 billion in power infrastructure, which is transformers, switchgear, lithium-ion batteries, and that stuff. So it says shortages of transformers, switchgear, and batteries are already threatening to delay the build-out. Lead times for large power transformers have stretched to as long as 5 years.
Really?
And roughly 40% of planned U.S. data center capacity faces delays tied to equipment and power availability. The equipment the United States cannot manufacture fast enough is the same equipment it increasingly sources from
China.
I wonder. That's what I'm saying. Either they outright say you're not going to have none of it, or they just put a very large price tag on it for us. I wonder what that means, like for the future of AI in general. Like if you can't have the infrastructure for it, like is that also going to be a crash? I wonder. There's so many different areas of this where I feel like if something falls through, like what is going to cause it to. What's going to be the downfall of it? If there is going to be one, if it's not, like
I don't think it'll ever fail. I think this is a runaway train. It may change, but the way I've always looked at these things, I expect it to hit a wall.
yes,
I expect things to kind of correct itself.
yes,
But the technology keeps. It's like, yeah, we may take 3 steps forward. We make knocked back a step.
But we've
we've already moved 2
hit
steps.
the wall. You just said it. We're on a 5-year wait
yeah, right.
for some of this. So we're hitting the wall now.
And I think too, I don't know if this is the majority of people or if this is kind of split. I feel like there's also a lot of people who are speaking out more against AI because it's like it's becoming so universal, and I wonder if that's a thing too. Of like, there are some systems where AI is going to be forced into it, and there is going to probably be still money in it. But like, I think the thing that I'm also not considering is like for some of these systems, like ChatGPT, for instance, like what if a large potential of people stop paying for subscriptions or stop using it altogether? Like that's the stuff is too what I'm thinking about. It's like, you're right, it's a runaway train. I think there are some things that are going to happen.
I think, something
yeah.
truly big would have to occur where people would kind of reject technology.
Right.
I don't.
There's never been one point in history that human beings have ever rejected technology.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing has ever been rejected.
You just keep.
I take that back.
To
I
it.
take that back. There was one. What was? You had VHS Beta.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beta was rejected. I'm so sorry. Even though it was a superior product, it didn't catch on.
They said the scale of this import dependence reflects the capital intensity of the build-out itself. McKinsey estimates global spending on data center construction will reach $7 trillion through 2030. The World Trade Organization reported in late 2025 that imports account for 70 to 90% of the value of U.S. AI investment.
That's crazy.
I mean, a level of import intensity which few parallels in modern American industrial history. FDI intelligence data published by the Financial Times show that $320 billion in data center projects were announced globally during 2025, with the U.S. capturing the largest share. So That's what I'm saying. We are definitely. This is kind of goes back to what I talked about with America. We are jeopardizing our own national security by having to rely on hostile countries that wish us harm and actively are trying to undermine our country, because we all know now where some of this money has been funneling in from, these people that are causing all this mischief in this country. Where that money, it's coming from China.
Yeah.
They're doing
I
that.
just said that a minute ago.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah,
and they're going to wait till we spend all the money and then drop the hammer on us. They're going to make their money, and then they're going to drop the hammer on us.
Yeah, I said right. I said China was by far the largest, 41% of imports by value. By 2025, that share had fallen to 11%. Taiwan, 159 billion. Mexico, 142 billion, and Vietnam, 86 billion, have emerged as the dominant suppliers, which I understand probably because we are trying to shift to other suppliers in case
away from China. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's interesting stuff, but it worries me because all I see is Skynet.
Right.
And it's coming.
Right.
May not be necessarily in my lifetime because I'm already old, but
Be surprised, but it's going to come a long way in just 5 years.
It's rapidly. I mean, just in the time I went from basically no phones to
where we are now.
To where we are now.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember just having a regular house phone and
Yeah.
rotary dialed, and now. I mean, now you people are able to talk through their glasses and stuff. I mean, it's crazy how fast, and it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller with the tech. I mean, I do follow some of this new tech that's coming out just with phones, watches, and everything else. I mean, it's quite breathtaking.
It reminds me sometimes of like my grandmother, who has since passed, but was born in it was either like late 20s or early 30s, I think, of the 1900s. and again, the amount of technology, I think she passed away, it was like right around when I was in like high school, I believe. So probably in the 2000 teens. And it's to think about that, to the fact that, over her 80 something years of life, how much technology she saw, the introduction of the motor vehicle and flying and a couple of wars and a telephone and cell phones and internet. It was crazy to think about that. By the time that I was, like I said, in high school and had my first little
man on the moon.
My first iPhone or whatever that I had, and was like the fact that, looking back at all the stuff that she had witnessed, I'm like, man, that's crazy to think about potentially how much I'm going to see in my lifetime, God willing, So it's crazy how I think, and especially with AI, we've talked about it on this show before. There was a couple times where we were talking about AI, and it was like this cute little thing that was like ChatGPT 2.0, 3.0 was, the newest thing, and now we're 4 or 5 years removed from that, and it's just this monster now. So anyways, it's impressive.
Great topic, guys.
Great topic.
Yeah, this is fun.
Well, for anybody who wants to share your opinions or suggestions or your thoughts on this matter, we have comment sections on Spotify, on YouTube. And if you listen to us on those platforms or any of those platforms like that, we really appreciate it. It does mean a lot.
And it helps us out.
Yes, exactly.
Smash that button. Give us a like. Give us 5 stars.
Correct. Let it again, or share it with someone that you think would be interested in this.
And if you agree with me on the Skynet thing, just go ahead and let me know.
Yes.
I don't want to feel by myself on this
Exactly. One. And until next week, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone, and God bless.
This week I had a lunch with somebody, and they asked me a simple question. They asked me what I admire the most in a person. And I thought about it for a few minutes, and I said, to me, the ability to leave people better than you found them. to have conversations that heal instead of hurt, to make people feel safe instead of judged, and to be the reason someone walks away smiling instead of questioning their worth. I think that's a rare kind of beauty and kindness that we need more of in this world. Thanks for hanging out with us today. You're the best. Peace.